I wanted to thank you for staying with him.
You don't have to thank me, Kenneth said, squinting in confusion. He hadn't done it for Houston. He hadn't even known Houston was coming. No one should have to sit and wait for news about a loved one by themselves. Houston was studying him like Tank had in the ER, only with more intensity. It made him shiver and bite down on his lip, eyes dropping for a second before he forced himself to raise them once more.
I'm still grateful, Houston said softly, taking a step closer. And I'd like to repay you.
Kenneth stared at him. Repay me? How? Houston's dark eyes ran down Kenneth's body slowly, then returned to his flushed face. He grinned, but it wasn't reassuring. It was predatory
and arousing.
Dear God, was it arousing? Kenneth had never wanted to be prey more in his life.
Your choice.
Houston held his hand out between them.
Give me your phone. Unlocked.
Kenneth was handing it over before he had really thought about it, the smooth command going straight into his brain and lighting up the part of him that had been sparked that night at the MC's clubhouse. He made a noise of protest when Houston started tapping at the screen, but Houston ignored him. A moment later he handed it back as he pulled his own out. He glanced down and his breath caught in his throat as he saw that Houston had added his number to Kenneth's contacts and then texted himself. So now he had Kenneth's number too.
Give me a call or shoot me a text when you decide what you want.
What I want? Kenneth croaked, having trouble focusing. There were so many things he wanted.
For repayment, Houston said, smile widening. For taking care of someone who's like a brother to me.
Kenneth stared up at him, mind frozen. That was the only excuse he had for why he blurted out, "Was it your wife in the ambulance?" Houston barked out a laugh.
No, she's, more of a friend of a friend.
He sobered, his gaze turning toward the wall like he could see the hospital on the other side.
I should get back, though.
Okay, he said, feeling numb with shock and buzzing with adrenaline all at the same time. What was this man doing to him? Instead of stepping away, though, Houston moved closer. Kenneth couldn't shuffle back, already pressed against the wall behind him, and even though Houston didn't touch him or cage him in with his arms, it didn't matter. The look in his eyes was enough to ensnare Kenneth. Gracious, he really was the prey to his predator.
But I need you to know, I'm not the kind of man who would be standing here in this dim stairwell hitting on you while his spouse was injured in the hospital.
Kenneth's whole body flushed hot at the words, hitting on, his nails digging into his palms as he squeezed them into tight fists to stop himself from reaching out to see if his shirt was as soft as it looked. "You're hitting on me?" He'd known it, but it was also just so hard for him to believe. What did a man like Houston, who was handsome and dangerous and scared of nothing, see in someone like him? He was okay looking, but other than that, he was awkward and needy, and he dreamed of desires he'd never have the guts to ask for. Even if a man like Houston, whose membership in a motorcycle club suggested he didn't give a crap what anyone thought or what societal expectations were, was more likely to say yes than someone like Brock. Hoping for something like that felt terrifying and exciting in a way Kenneth had never experienced before. Houston's lips twisted in a half-smile.
"Trying to."
"Oh," he whispered, unsure what else to say. Houston watched him for a few more moments, then took a step back, and the air between them began to cool.
"Think about what you want, gorgeous, and let me know."
Sucking in a breath, Kenneth could only nod.